Tonight, the Rainmaker once again stood tall. The crowd roared as Kazuchika Okada, the man who brought thunder to AEW, defended his Unified World Championship in a match that felt less like sport and more like destiny. But even as he raised the title high under the arena lights, one truth echoed louder than the chants: the cracks within the Don Callis family are beginning to show. This is not just another victory for Okada. This is a story about power, betrayal, and control, about how AEW's most dominant faction might be tearing itself apart from within. Since the moment Kazuchika Okada stepped through the AEW curtain, he's felt like a storm made flesh. Fans who followed his legendary run in New Japan Pro Wrestling already knew, when the Rainmaker enters, business picks up. But AEW gave him something new, a battlefield filled with stars, egos, and chaos. When AEW announced the Unified Championship, merging its top titles into one undisputed prize, the question wasn't who would hold it first, it was how long until Okada takes it. And as expected, it didn't take long. His matches became instant classics, his promos short but sharp, the aura of a man who doesn't need to talk when his presence already says everything. But behind that calm, behind those perfect Rainmaker poses, something darker has been brewing. To understand what's happening now, you have to look at the DCF, the Don Callis family. This faction started as a masterclass in manipulation. Don Callis handpicked talent that could dominate AEW: Konosuke Takeshita, Will Ospreay, Powerhouse Hobbs, and of course, Kazuchika Okada. Together, they were unstoppable. Under Callis management, Okada didn't just win, he crushed. Every opponent became a showcase. Callis played the strings, hyping his team as the most elite collection of athletes in wrestling. But if you know Callis, you know one thing: loyalty lasts only as long as you're useful. And lately, his tone toward Okada has shifted, ever so slightly. The proud manager who once called Okada the crown jewel of my empire has started giving subtle praise to others, especially Will Ospreay. The tension isn't open rebellion, not yet, but you can feel it in every interview, every sideways glance. The Don Callis family is still united on paper, but unity in wrestling is always one promo away from chaos. Tonight's main event was billed as The Storm Meets the Machine. Okada versus Brian Cage, a powerhouse who promised to end the Rainmaker's reign. From the opening bell, Cage came out like a man possessed, powerbombs, suplexes, every move thrown with bad intentions. But Okada, calm and calculated as ever, weathered the storm. Every time Cage tried to overpower him, Okada answered with precision, dropkicks that landed like lightning, and a DDT that sent shockwaves through the crowd. Midway through the match, the cameras caught Don Callis at ringside, clapping, smiling, but saying nothing. His eyes darted between Okada and the backstage area. That's when things got interesting. Suddenly, Will Ospreay's music hit. The crowd erupted. The aerial assassin made his way to ringside, not interfering, but watching. His smirk said it all: "I'm not here to help, I'm here to remind you who's next." That distraction almost cost Okada the match. Cage nailed him with a drill claw for a near fall that had everyone counting along. But Okada survived, rallied, and delivered a Rainmaker lariat so brutal it spun Cage inside out. 1, 2, 3, the champion retains. The arena exploded. The rain fell again, but as Okada held his title high, his eyes didn't leave Ospreay's. As the match ended, Don Callis entered the ring to congratulate Okada, or at least, that's what it looked like. The crowd was buzzing, half expecting something to go down. And then, as Okada posed, Callis handed him the mic. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said, "your AEW Unified Champion, the greatest wrestler alive today, Kazuchika Okada." The applause was massive, but there was hesitation in Callis' tone. Then he turned, motioning to Ospreay at ringside. "And let's not forget," Callis added, "the man who made Okada great, the man who pushed him to this level, Will Ospreay." The crowd gasped. Okada's expression didn't change, but his eyes went cold. Ospreay smirked. You could cut the tension with a knife. The Don Callis family stood in the ring, shoulder to shoulder, but their unity was shattered by one sentence. This is where wrestling storytelling shines. Okada isn't a man of many words, his power lies in silence. Every glance, every gesture, carries meaning. When he looked at Ospreay after that match, it wasn't anger. It was recognition. He knows what Callis is doing. He's seen this play before. Okada's faced factions, betrayals, and power struggles his whole career. He's fought Kenny Omega, Jay White, and countless rivals who tried to use his fame for their rise. Now, it's happening again, but this time, it's within his own family. Don Callis built this empire on ego. He tells every member they're the best, until they believe it. That's how he controls them. But when you have two world-class athletes like Okada and Ospreay in the same group, that control doesn't last. This isn't a question of if the DCF will implode, it's when. Backstage sources reported that after the match, things were tense. Cameras caught Ospreay walking past Okada without acknowledgement. Callis tried to mediate, but both men brushed him off. Later, in an exclusive interview, Ospreay said, "Greater than, I respect Okada. But respect doesn't mean I'll stand behind him forever. When the time comes, I'll take what's mine." Meanwhile, Okada, in a rare backstage comment, simply said, "Greater than, rain always falls. Even on the family." It's subtle, it's poetic, and it's chilling. This isn't just about championships anymore, it's about legacy, pride, and betrayal. AEW now finds itself at a crossroads. The Unified Championship was supposed to bring clarity, one world title, one top star. But instead, it's brought conflict to the company's most dominant group. Fans are already speculating, will Ospreay challenge Okada at Full Gear? Is Don Callis setting up the ultimate betrayal? Or will another member of the DCF, like Takeshita or Hobbs, make a power move while the spotlight's elsewhere? One thing is clear, the AEW landscape has shifted again, and it's all revolving around Okada. Every reign has a breaking point, and the more Okada dominates, the more isolated he becomes. Within minutes of the match ending, social media exploded. On X, formerly Twitter, hashtags like #RainmakerReigns and #DCF breakup started trending. Some fans praised Okada for another flawless defense, calling him the true world champion AEW needed. Others speculated that Ospreay's stare down was the beginning of the most anticipated match of the decade. Greater than, Okada vs Ospreay under AEW rules. That's a dream match come to life. Callis is about to pull the biggest swerve since Omega's heel turn. This is long-term storytelling at its finest. AEW's fanbase thrives on this, the tension, the uncertainty, the feeling that anything could happen next week. Wrestling isn't just about athleticism. It's about narrative, and Okada vs Ospreay has layers years in the making. Their history in Japan built the foundation, the student surpassing the master, the rivalry born from mutual respect and ambition. Now, AEW has reignited that spark under the Don Callis Family banner. The beauty lies in the details. Okada doesn't need to say he's threatened, his silence is his statement. Ospreay doesn't need to challenge him outright, his smirk does all the talking. And Don Callis, he's the perfect puppet master, watching as his family eats itself alive. This is not just another feud, it's a masterclass in storytelling, where ego, loyalty, and power collide. As AEW moves into its next chapter, one thing's for sure, Kazuchika Okada's reign is not just about defending a title. It's about defining what AEW stands for. Okada brings prestige, Ospreay brings fire, and Callis brings chaos. Together, they're rewriting what modern wrestling storytelling looks like. But storms don't last forever. Eventually, the rain clears, and what's left is the truth. The question is, when the Don Callis family finally breaks, will Okada still be standing with gold, or will he be standing alone? Kazuchika Okada once said that every drop of rain represents destiny. Tonight, destiny poured down again, but this time, the thunder wasn't just outside the ring, it was within his own family. AEW fans, the Rainmaker has defended his crown once more, but the storm is far from over. Stay tuned, because next week, the Don Callis family might not look the same. And remember, in wrestling, just when you think you've seen it all, that's when the rain falls hardest.